I didn't watch the show and haven't watched the show because I could go drinking, opiates, drinking, cocaine. Like I could tell season by season by how I looked. And I don't think anybody else can, but I certainly could.
So Matthew Perry passed away, and he passed away in his hot tub. People be like, whoa, how? How does someone just pass away in a hot tub? I've been in a hot tub before. It's pretty shallow. This is his hot tub. It's not a hot tub like you think. It's not like a jacuzzi. It's not like a round thing that you sit in with a couple bitches and a couple Bud Lights. It's an infinity pool that someone that has hundreds of millions of dollars, which he did have, would have. It's not a hot tub. Like, that's something that you could drown in. It's something that you could, but you couldn't drown in it as a grown person. You could only drown in it if you passed out, or if you had too many substances, or if you fell asleep. This is so interesting to me. This stuff is like what gets off going, bro. This article from the Star, this is from November 6th, 2022, so almost a year ago, says, yes, friends is important to Matthew Perry, but he wants to be remembered for his sobriety and helping other people. Matthew Perry, he had substance abuse issues out the ass. The guy was an alcoholic, did like all the drugs. He had been to rehab for 6,000 hours. He had like a dozen life-saving surgeries. I mean, how many surgeries does one person have that saves their life in one lifetime? Either 0 or maybe 2 or 3. But a dozen of them. You're getting up there. Did not look good in his later years. His body was not good. So he looks good in this picture. But this article that brought up specifically, which is funny because it's almost a year old, and it says he wants to be remembered for his sobriety. Like he already thought about like he's gonna die, And there have been a lot of cases like Norm Macdonald or Neil Peart where people have cancer and they don't tell anyone about it. It's a long-term illness terminal illness that they deal with for a long time. They don't know when they're going to die. So they don't really tell people about it because it's not like, we might beat it, why scare people? So when it comes to something like this, where a guy drowns in a infinity gigantic hot tub, and he says a year prior that in this article, he wants to be remembered for his sobriety. So was he sober when he drowned? Doubt it. Allegedly, I'm not going to make claims, but this guy had a lot of issues with this. It's a meaningful success for the actor, a household name for his performance as the beloved Chandler on NBC's Friends. Let's check this out, bosses. This is crazy stuff right here. It says these days, remember, this was written in November last year, almost a year. These days, Matthew Perry's feeling good. He's written an acclaimed memoir, new house, blah, blah, blah. Here's what I wanted to get into, bosses. That's really scary to me. Not all the stuff about his addiction. So from what I understand, Matthew Perry was in like the worst TV show of all time, and he's having a really bad career. And I'm not trying to talk shit about the guy. Rest in peace. Whatever. It seems like he had a struggled life. But I also have theories here in a minute that you might not think that afterwards. But here's a quote from his memoir. It says, before I was living a fear-driven life. Quote from Matthew Perry. And that hindered my relationships with women and blah, blah, blah. I'm not ruled by fear anymore. Just before booking Friends, I'm going to highlight this. Just before booking Friends, he made a prayer, a Faustian bargain, in his words, not mine. This is from his memoir. Just before booking Friends, he made a prayer, which Friends is like the most successful show of all time besides Seinfeld, right? Like sitcom. He made a prayer, a Faustian bargain. If you don't know what a Faustian bargain is, that's basically like you're selling your soul to the devil. But he was praying to God, I guess. His prayer was for God to do whatever he wanted Perry to do, but please to make him famous. Now isn't that like a sin? Like one of the 7 deadly sins? I don't know if it's fame, but it's probably like in there with one of those like, vanity or something like that, you know? So you pray to God to be famous. God's like, here you go, dude, but it's not it's not what the kingdom of heaven's about. You're going to have your heaven here on earth. It's also going to be hell. I said, and look at this. Just before booking Friends, he made a prayer, a Faustian bargain, where he sold his soul to the devil, allegedly. And when, the greatest trick the devil ever did was pretend he was God. Please make him famous. All this Matthew Perry guy wanted to do was be famous. 3 weeks later, he got on Friends. But God didn't forget about the other part. Perry said, echoing a line in his book, "Oh!" He knew it. He knew it. So Matthew Perry sold his soul to the devil to be famous, allegedly, is what we've gotten at so far. I wanted to show this article right here. This is from the Sun, which is a very trusted news source. Oh, this is from the 29th. So it's from 2 days ago. Shameful secret. This is like the tabloids, I loved Friends. This is a Matthew Perry quote from his memoir. I loved Friends and fancied Jennifer. Who doesn't? There's no red-blooded male on this earth, straight male, that doesn't fancy Jennifer Aniston. I mean, she's like cream of the crop, But he goes on to say, but I was battling demons. Oh, there you go, demons. And didn't know how to stop, says Matthew Perry in memoir. So he's battling demons. Sold his soul to the devil, to be famous. Let's check out this Instagram here real quick again, where Matthew Perry really didn't post a lot on Instagram. Like, if you look, like, he didn't have a lot of posts. So the last 9 posts on his Instagram were in the last month. Kind of interesting. Like, in the last month before he passed. And, you could claim the theory that he's just really, like, he got back on the drugs and he was just really messed up and he wanted to be Batman. But he does all this stuff about where, like, his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 posts are about him, about Batman, about him calling himself Matman. Very strange to me. You see the moon? It says, do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? I'm Matman. The one before it, the Halloween, the pumpkin, the jack-o'-lantern. Do you know what I mean? This is a week ago. What does he mean? What does he mean by the Batman? The Matman. Batman plays pickleball. I don't know what the fuck pickleball is. Someone explain to Hoff what pickleball is. Look at this. He's got a sign in it, like out back. Sleep well, everybody. I've got the city tonight. Matman. Matthew Perry, Matman. He has this video where he throws like 3 freaking, like, what are those? Berries of sorts? Grapes? This is what I've had to eat today. I'm Matman. What does that mean? What does that mean? There's some serious symbology behind this stuff. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? I'm Batman. This is crazy, bosses. Hoff's got a couple theories, and they're probably not even close to being anything close to truth of reality. He's referencing the Robert Pattinson Batman, which I have not seen. There are quotes that Matthew Perry said that he did not want to be famous after praying to be famous. He just wished to be anything but famous. So what if a lot of these people fake their own deaths? What if that's a more common occurrence than we think it actually is? Someone's gonna fake their death. What are you gonna do? You got $100 million? Pretty easy to buy a new ID. Pretty much, it's pretty easy to coerce someone to get you a new ID. Pretty easy to get plastic surgery. $120 million at the time of his death. So when you get $120 million and you want out of the fame game and you're addicted to drugs and everything, I still don't know what the Batman stuff is about. Except, bosses, I got one more theory. Here's where my theory collides with what I just said. This is a lot of Robert Pattinson Batman kind of stuff. Yeah, of course. Look at this Instagram post. What's with these strange posts a week before he died? This comment says, I don't know if this is true. He put in his book if he needed help, he'd send up a bat signal, which he did, and no one came. Oh, maybe he really was just dealing with substance abuse issues, and no one came to him. Wow, if that's true, that makes the most sense. But if you want to hear a real Hoffcast theory, here it is. What happens at the end of The Dark Knight Rises? Batman takes the bomb out into the ocean and his stupid Batwing. And it's assumed the bomb explodes and he dies. But he actually dropped it in the ocean and flew to France. And then Alfred finds him there and he's like, okay, you can change your shit, you know. Matthew Perry's probably dead if he actually had those substance abuse issues. And if that's what he was calling for as a bat signal. He looked pretty alone in that jacuzzi. The whole thing is very creepy to me. It's very off-putting. It's suspicious. Man. Who knows, dude? Who knows? Maybe Matthew Perry's out there hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein or something, allegedly. I don't know, man. Buttered sausage. Hey, it's your friendly neighborhood Hoff here. And if you enjoyed that clip, make sure that you check out my latest stream right here. And you subscribe right here to my channel. It's easy, it's free. You can stay in touch with me and you can become a boss today. Keep in touch, subscribe, watch my latest. There we go. Cheers. Hoff signing off.